What is up, Retro Maniacs? Welcome to Short Prints. My name's Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP, and we're here to talk about cards. This week, we're going to give you our best of 2022. We're going to start with our top 3 personal hobby moments. And for a change, I'm going to get you started this week. How about that? I'm going to take over the mic.
Take the reins, baby.
My number one moment is my Retromania card stack sale on Twitter. I ran a 14-day stack sale on 14 consecutive nights over 2 weeks. Actually, it was only 13 because I ended up getting COVID in the middle of it, but I only missed one night.
Right.
But wow, I mean, I sold almost 3,000 cards in those 14 days, and not just for the amount of cards or the money of the sales and stuff. It was a lot of fun. Like I feel like all my buyers had a lot of fun. Like people were just looking forward to it and interacting with the stuff I was posting, and it was just a blast. I don't know that I'd ever do it again because it was so much work to get everything shipped out, and everybody was super patient with me because it just took a long time. I had some card orders that were like 250 cards that people claim. So it takes a little while to pull those all out and get them shipped. But yeah, that's my number one moment, the Retromania stack sale. And anybody that's watching that participated, I thank you very much. It was a blast.
It was fun to watch along with, for sure. And that kind of leads into me and EPs, I think, are our number one. And after Mike did his craziness, we decided to do one kind of a team up effort, like the other guy stacks, a poor man's Retromania, if you will. We did it over the course of a month, so it wasn't as crazy. We did it over the course of a month because EP, he can talk about his work woes, but we were. I did mostly football and some non-sports. EP did mostly, I believe, football and basketball.
Yep.
And he'll talk about that for his as well. Just to put it in perspective, though, and I don't know what EP's numbers were, I lit 1,500 cards where Mike sold 3,000 cards. So, but I ended up selling close to 1,000 cards of those 1,500. You're right, Mike. I mean, we did a video about stack sales, a few months ago, I guess, at this point. And it's just the fun of going through the cards. More fun than the money you get from selling the cards and looking at something and saying, someone might really like this. This is a silly card. Someone might really like this. Or people love Chrome. Let me pull some Chrome cards out. Or metal. People love metal cards. Let me pull those out. And I just had such a blast going through those. And I've done 2 stack sales now over the course of this year. The one stack sale I used to buy a Dan Marino, Kenny Pickett dual autograph card. And the other one, watched the pod on Monday. I did I sold about $300 worth of cards and bought a Bert Emanuel PMG 8. So I'm using that. I'm basically trading my cards to buy something bigger and cooler. And I think that's what, at the end of the day, I think that's what, especially that's what we're looking to do with our stack sales.
Yeah, 100%. I did all baseball for my stack sale, and we again, I was posting on Sundays, and I missed two family kind of events just to do this, but I still had a blast. Like it was crazy how much fun I had. Like Joe said, when you're going through your cards, like, oh my gosh, this is such a cool card. I hope somebody gets it, and so I hope somebody takes it for like 50 cents. Like you're selling a lot of cards for 50 cents and $1. You're not gonna get rich off something like this. You're gonna move some cards, like Joe said. You're gonna maybe move some cards to be able to get something else that you want to get. And the going through the cards. We're all gonna go through our cards anyway. But we're going through cards that we wouldn't have gone through if it wasn't for this opportunity to sell cards at 50 cents or $1. And then also, the interaction with the buyers was a lot of fun. There's a handful of them that just
knowing what really people would want too. Was fun, right?
Yeah. Like when somebody says, "Well, I want to get some more of Player X cards, like Hideo Nomo or something like that," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I found these like 5 more Hideo Nomo cards. I'm going to put these out for that guy." That was part of the fun of going through cards and getting everything ready and then listing it. And it's a lot of work for sure, but it's also so much fun that it doesn't feel like work.
And you make a lot of people happy too.
Yes.
Like we're not in the market for $1 million cards, but people are happy out there getting cards for 50 cents and $1 of guys they collect.
Absolutely.
All right, my number 2 moment is my LeBron James Bazooka rookie card I found.
Choice.
Like, very special. I've told this story before. Went through a box that I had previously gone through, and I found the LeBron. Beautiful condition, sent it into PSA, and it came back at 10. I ended up selling that card for $1,600. Like, come
and
on.
he used most of that money to buy EP ranks at the National. To be fair,
I did.
I think
Yes.
at least half of it went
I think
towards
probably did, but yeah, I mean, just amazing. I had already gone through so much. I sold all my LeBron cards. I've said it before, back when I had my shop, so was not expecting to even see a LeBron card at all, yet alone a rookie, and yet alone a rookie has been sitting in a box for almost 20 years that I could pull out, put in a sleeve, send to PSA, and it come back a perfect 10. So that was my number 2 moment. A lot of fun.
That's a good choice. That's a fun card. That's a fun card.
Yeah, it's a great card.
My number 2, actually, just some random act of kindness stuff that happened this year. I mean, you see so many people on Twitter complaining about the big companies or complaining about sellers. And then you'll have people who are like, hey, who do you collect? Let me just send you some cards. And I was looking for a retro from 2013 Doctor Strange card. It was done in the same way of the 1990 Impel Series 1, Marvel Universe Series 1. I'm a big Doctor Strange fan, and I was looking for one on eBay, and it was like crazily priced. At the time, I thought it was crazily priced, but it was actually a fair price, to be honest. And I posted on Twitter, hey, does anyone have this card? Maybe you'd be interested in trading. And, I know his real name, so I don't know his Twitter handle off the top of my head, but my boy Keith, who's a big Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre fan, a Doctor Strange. He opened a case of Fleer Retro, and he sent me, and I said, dude, what can I back? How much you want for it? And he said, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. I ended up sending him some like Robert Brooks and Antonio Freeman base, and insert base card 90s because he was a big Packers. Those were his 2 favorite wide receivers. I ended up sending that card to SGC. Then it came back in SGC 10, and it's proudly displayed on my fireplace mantle. It's one of my favorite cards that I had gotten in the last something that I didn't have. It's one of my favorite cards that I didn't pull out of my collection. So it was just a cool moment. I think we've all had those instances where we have random act of kindness, where we're either sending something to someone or getting something from someone. It's just a very cool, like, the hobby is not filled with just terrible people. There are actually some good out there. It's rare, but it happens.
Yeah. Okay, Pete.
All right, my second one is just I realized at some point, I don't remember the exact time, the relative cheapness of junk wax. And I'm looking over here. I have a box of wax packs of 1990 tops. I have
Send us
6
pictures. It's
I have
ridiculous.
6. Yeah, I have six cello packs and also a rack pack, all of 1990 tops, and let alone all the other stuff that I have. But I mean, like 1990 tops with the Frank Thomas no name on front and the Griffey Gold All-Star Rookie Cup rookie card, like just like a cool, and Juan Gonzalez. You can go on and on about the cards and the players from that time period. But just I have a soft spot in my heart for 1990 tops, 1990 cards in general, and that you can I can get these cards now for less than $1 a pack, $1 a pack depending on where you get them, and like just to be able to have them, and I'm going to open them up for the channel eventually, but just to be able to get these. Collecting cards is about nostalgia, and this is a huge piece of nostalgia for me. So just to be able to get those at a relatively cheap price compared to $400 football box, to get these things for the amount of money you're paying is just so much fun for me.
400 is cheap in nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
400 is
really.
like,
Yeah.
like the low end. That's score.
Yeah, that's my level of football right now. But yeah.
And EP is not joking when he says he has a ton of junk wax packs.
It's an avalanche waiting to happen.
Yes, definitely. We're gonna find him like buried in his apartment one day underneath wax packs from the 90s.
Still alive, but just enjoying.
Yeah,
being
just
buried
he'll
in,
be
like
missing the
Scrooge
pod.
McDuck.
We'll be like, "Where's EP? Better go check on him."
Swimming in my packs.
Oh, there he is.
Swimming in
He's
his packs.
covered in 90 tops. All right, my final moment is, you can't really see it here because of my big head being in the way, but up there I have my 1995 Pinnacle Zenith Z team set I decided to put together. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, that card set just reminds me of when I had my shop. They were so popular, still great looking card. It was fun to actually sit down and go, okay, I have to look for this player, then I have to look for that player, and like, I'm not paying that price. Like, oh, here's one. It just first time in a long time I decided to do that, and I completed that set, and beautiful and proudly displayed behind my big head there. And that's my number
All
one
in
moment.
one touches. All
Yes.
in one touches.
Well, they were. They're actually not now, because the display I have, they have snap cases you have to put them in to slide in the display. But
Oh,
still beautiful looking. And yeah, and that all started because I had the Natron Means Z team left over from my shop. And I kept walking past it. Like, I had it like where I walk into my garage where I have all the cards stored. And every time I go in, I'd see it and I'd be like, I loved those cards. I loved those cards. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put a set together. So that is my number one moment from 2022. How about you guys?
And an aside, Mike gave me a Warren Moon one and then wanted it back so he could complete the set. So,
Offered it back. I did
Offered it
not. I
back.
would have bought one, but you offered it. So,
I
yeah.
did. I'm such a good friend. So, honorable mention for me is
That card. You gave me the card that I gave you. Let me just point that out for the viewers.
Such a good
You
friend.
gave
I'm
me a card I
friend.
gave you. Yes.
Mike, we're running long. Let's keep it going.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
So my honorable mention is picking up my my Grail card, my Tom Brady SPX PSA 8, which has actually gone down in value. So I don't know how great of a moment that is, but everything's gone down in value. What can you do? My number one, though, is after 2,165,212 days, getting back my first PSA submission since I've gotten into the hobby. Keep in mind, I've gotten many submissions back before this one that I sent in well after this one. But yes, my number one moment is getting back that submission. And not for any particular card. There were a couple of Brady rookies in there. There were some Marvel cards I ended up selling, but it was just kind of fun. I mean, it's the first thing I sent in. But it's tied into opening up the Marvel Universe cards that I had ripped, some of them for the channel, and it was a really, really fun time putting that order together. I never thought it would take so long, but then the video, the reveal roast was a lot of fun as well. So yeah, that one for me. I mean, nothing major happened in that, but it was just like a fun moment to remember.
Mhm.
You could almost say the past years of the hobby, because I not only had putting that in, submitting it, but then waiting the over a year and a half to get it back. It was a lot of fun to take a look. It was almost nostalgia because it took so long to get back.
I know for EP and I, watching you wait for it was a lot of fun as well. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And some of the viewers felt the same way. I know.
That was just as much.
A perfect ongoing segment.
Thank you to
when
Nat
will Token
Turner
is-
for
Thanks, Nat.
making you wait so long and giving us all that content. All right, EP, your final moment.
Well, I've owned every Madden game since like 2001, 2002, and once they came out with Ultimate Team, I would play that like crazy. I used to love it, but I wouldn't actually play it. All I did was work the market, and I would buy cards and sell cards and try to build up my team to make it better for the the challenges that I never played, and but it's just it was like a cool thing to do to build this up, and it was like just a great time. And then the baseball the show came out with their version of this. I did the same thing for the show, and like just like religiously doing this stuff. Last year, I realized I didn't play I didn't buy Madden last year or this year, and I realized I hadn't played the show at all. So I downloaded the show. It was free on Xbox, the Game Pass, and I started to do the stuff, and I found myself thinking to myself, like, I don't need to do this anymore. I'm doing the real thing again. And it was like this moment where I realized I'm back doing this. I don't need to do it on the Xbox anymore. As fun as it is to do it on the Xbox and as easy it is, like, I'm doing the real thing. Like, why don't I just stop? I'm not going to play this game. I'm just going to go find some cards and either list them on eBay or getting ready for my stack sale or whatever. And so that was that. It was just like a moment where I realized, you know what? I'm back in the actual thing now. I don't need to do it on here anymore.
Instead of collecting Madden cards, you were just collecting cards.
Right.
Imagine that.
Right? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, love it. All right. Well, that was a good episode. Next week, we're going to be back with our combined top 3 moments of 2022.
That should be fun.
Yep. We'll
Yes,
see you next
most
week.
definitely.
Take care, guys.
See you, boys.